Should I confront my friend? I am not the oop. Oop is you, Burner Kazooie. Should I confront my friend? Originally posted to R2 Hot Takes. Trigger warning. Betrayal from a close friend. Less than. Original post July 25, 2023. I'm in quite the pickle and I could use some insights. This whole situation has my emotions all over the place. So I apologize if this is lengthy. For some context, I'm 26M. My girlfriend, let's call her Lily, is 25F, and we've been together for 3 years. The friend in question, Mark, is 27M. Mark and I have known each other for about 6 years and he's been one of my closest friends. He met Lily about 2 years ago, and they've always had a friendly dynamic. They joke around a lot and share similar interests. But I never thought much of it because I trusted Mark. In fact, I always believed that Mark was one of the few friends I could trust implicitly around my girlfriend. When I travel for work, which is often, Mark started hanging out with Lily's group of friends. Initially, this was discussed with Lily and it was a bit unusual for me. But I chalked it up to him trying to expand his social circle and looking for new friends. After all, he had a tough breakup a while ago and has been trying to surround himself with positive influences. Plus, Lily's friends adore our relationship and have always supported us. I thought, what's the harm? Fast forward a few months. Mark has become a regular member of their group. Birthday parties, movie nights, Sunday brunches, he's there for all of it. Lily's friends, and Lily herself, have come to love Mark. He's charismatic, funny, and everyone enjoys his company. However, I started to notice that he was particularly close to Lily and another of her friends, Jess, 24F. They'd frequently post pictures on social media, always sitting together at group events, etc. Once again, I chalked it up to them just being close friends. Lily had assured me that she felt no attraction towards him, and I don't have any reason to doubt that. But my issue was more whether Mark was being genuine. However, things took a turn earlier this week. Lily and I were out of town for a weekend getaway, and Mark attended an event with Lily's friend group. Jess confronted Mark because she felt he was being overly flirty with Lily, essentially fawnage over her if neither of us was around, and his behavior was making her uncomfortable. To everyone's shock, Mark admitted he had feelings for both Lily and Jess. While he promised to set boundaries and maintain distance, he also took a dig at me. He said that I was a people pleaser, and that I was too nice for my own good. He insinuated that even if I knew about his feelings, I wouldn't do anything because I like being the nice guy everyone loves. Honestly, that hurt more than him admitting feelings for Lily. I always saw myself as genuine, and to have someone I trusted imply I'm merely putting on an act has shaken my confidence. Since he had started hanging out with Lily's group, we had gotten a lot closer, and he seemed more interested in getting to know me better. Lily and I heard about this from Jess, so I can't be entirely sure on the context, which is eating me up. I came home the other day and hung out with him, and he said nothing. He's continuing business as normal, as though I don't know what happened. I'm torn now. I appreciate his honesty, but I feel betrayed. I want to maintain our friendship, but I also want to protect my relationship with Lily. She does not want to see him anymore, and feels betrayed because we both genuinely believed he'd be a safe friend who'd want to hang out with her for her. To clarify, no moves were made, but Lily mentioned he had asked a lot about our relationship when I wasn't there at the social events, and I'm left wondering what he might have done if we were in a rough patch. But that's all speculation. I'm seeking advice on how to handle this situation. How do I approach Mark? How can we rebuild trust, if at all? And am I wrong for feeling like Mark's comment on my nature was a low blow? TLDR. Close friend admitted feelings for my GF while I was out of town. He's become a regular in her friend group. Also said some hurtful things about my character. Feeling lost and betrayed. Update July 27, 2023. Firstly, thanks to all who weighed in on my last post. Your insights were incredibly grounding during this whirlwind of emotions. Here's the update on confronting Mark. After gathering my thoughts, I texted Mark to address the situation. He played it down massively, saying he didn't remember the conversation and was certain it didn't involve Lily. He tried to spin the people-pleasing comment, stating it was a reminder to respect my boundaries because I might not assert them. A weird explanation, given how the entire situation didn't involve me and Lily. But here's where things got even more tangled. 3 separate friends, including Lily, approached me at different points with an unsettling claim. They said that Mark had told people that I viewed my relationship with Lily as a short-term thing. This was utterly baffling to me. Not only is it untrue, but it's also a complete violation of trust. Why would Mark spread such a damaging rumor about me? Especially when he knows how committed I am to Lily. I also confronted Mark about another lie from last week that made me look bad in front of Lily's friends. He admitted to the falsehood but tried to assure me he'd corrected it the next day. After checking with the person involved, it became clear that Mark hadn't set the record straight as he'd claimed. Through all this, not a single apology came from Mark. He kept repeating that it was a misunderstanding. The fact he claims no memory of such recent events is deeply concerning. Reflecting on our friendship, a pattern is emerging. Mark has always been transitioning between friend groups for as long as I've known him. I never thought much of it, but now it seems he rarely retains any long-term friends from these groups. Could this be a repeating pattern of his behavior driving people away? It's heartbreaking. Mark has been a trusted friend for over 2 years. Understanding that he might have been manipulating situations and spreading false narratives about me is gut-wrenching. I've shared everything with Lily, and she's backing whatever decision I choose to make regarding Mark. It's hard to reconcile the friend I thought I knew with the person he's revealing himself to be. Any advice on navigating this would be greatly appreciated. It's a tough road ahead. I am not going to talk to Mark anymore, and I might let him know beforehand. Reading all of this again makes me feel comfortable in that choice, but in the moment, I'd wondered if he was right and if this wasn't really a big deal. TLDR. Confronted Mark. He downplayed everything, spread rumors about my relationship, and lied about another incident. Recognizing unsettling patterns in his past friendships. Feeling utterly betrayed. Oop has recently commented about Mark, courtesy of you, Chenille Socks, in reply to someone saying don't prove Mark right. This helped a lot in solidifying my decision. I realized right after posting this and talking with Lily that I don't need someone like him in my life right now. Hopefully he gets the help he needs, and thank you for the words. Quote. And in reply to someone asking, aren't you worried Lily will think you're a chump? Paraphrasing here, Oops says, I did. Blocked his number and haven't talked to him since. Haven't felt better. Afterwards, I started realizing a pattern in our interactions that stretched back way before I met Lily. Luckily she thinks even more highly of me after all of this. And I'm genuinely so happy to have someone who values my empathy. But she is beyond proud of me for refusing to take flack from him. Quote, hashtag OOP has made a new update after the BORU posted. Thank you Mimi 23833 and Furby Time for letting us know. New update August 10th, 2023. Thank you all for your support and insights on my previous posts. I wanted to provide an update to shed some light on how things have transpired since confronting Mark. Post-confrontation. I have not spoken to Mark. Our last conversation over text was me expressing my deep-seated concerns, primarily about catching him in a lie just a week prior. He claimed he had rectified that lie by apologizing to Jess the day after. When I pressed him on why he'd apologized to Jess and not me, the person he'd actually wronged, he evaded the question. Instead, he focused on producing proof of the apology, which he later said he must have given, snap or in person, an evident lie. His response to everything was downright baffling. He even suggested that Jess and Lily had orchestrated the confrontation with an intent to drive a wedge between us. No remorse. No acknowledgement of my emotions. Ironically, he showed me a text he'd sent to Jess the next morning, indicating how enlightening their conversation had been. Yet he claimed to have forgotten it. I chose text as the medium for confrontation because I feared he would deny everything outright if we met in person. I wasn't sure I could maintain my composure if he lied to my face. The whole interaction has left me reeling. I felt gaslit and minimized. I had secretly hoped that maybe, just maybe, he was mortified and didn't know how to face me. But his responses shattered that hope. Lily made an observation that really put things into perspective. Throughout the duration of our friendship, Mark seemed to perpetually float between friend groups, typically due to issues revolving around a girl. In one instance, he split from a long-term relationship, and in another, distanced from a group because a girl chose someone else. The only consistent friend he had was someone from Lily and Jess's circle. Here's the kicker. Mark believes they're dating, while she is adamant they aren't and has no interest in pursuing a relationship with him. She has since severed ties with him as well. I know the popular sentiment might be, you should have seen the signs. And yes, hindsight is 20/20, but I genuinely believed in our friendship. It's hard to accept that what I perceived as genuine might have been contrived. Lastly, to address some comments that have labeled me a wuss or pushover. Empathy and trust in friends aren't weaknesses. I value relationships and believe in giving the benefit of the doubt. It doesn't make me weak. It makes me human. Everyone has their breaking point, and I've found mine. The silver lining is that he's now out of my life. I've realized that self-respect is paramount. I am fortunate to have someone as supportive as Lily by my side. She's proud of how I managed this ordeal, and contrary to some comments, values my empathy and perspective. We've had deep discussions about this entire situation, and she acknowledges the difficulty of such confrontations. Thanks for listening. Mark is history, and I'm striving to surround myself with authentic, caring individuals. TLDR. Confronted Mark. Felt gaslit. Recognized his pattern of drifting between friend groups. Cutting ties with him and focusing on self-growth and genuine relationships. This is a repost sub IAM, not the OOP. OOP needs to drop this dude fast even if you have connections. When a person starts talking behind your back and multiple people confirm it, it's time to cut him loose. He's not being honest to your face about how he really feels about you. I can't believe OOP is still trying to salvage a relationship with Mark. Well, it does seem like Mark's assessment of OOP was pretty good. Let's see. Mark cozies up to OOP's girlfriend, talks him down to her friend group, undermines their relationship, pits her against her friends, and then lies to OOP about it. And OOP wants to salvage the friendship. So, if anything, Mark undersold just how much a people-pleaser OOP is. He said that I was a people-pleaser, and that I was too nice for my own good. While Mark is an AH and a terrible friend, I don't think he's wrong about this. Dude makes a move on his GF. Talks bad behind his back. Spreads rumors about him. And Oop was still only thinking about whether he should drop the friend or not. Mark should have been dropped when Oop learned that he was actively involving himself with Lily and had feelings for her. At least he's rid of him now. The fact that Mark says Oop is a people-pleaser who won't do anything and that Oop, in turn, actually doesn't do anything is absolutely grating to me. He's just proving Mark right. What kind of insight is he looking for? WDYM, any advice on navigating this? Jesus. This guy is so dull. Mark needs to be gone. Like yesterday. Someone really needs to get Oop a spine. There's being nice. I think I'm nice. But then there's this guy. Grow a spine, my dude. What's so hard to understand here? Drop Mark. Or you'll lose your friends and your girlfriend. FYI though, Mark might become difficult when you drop him. So look out for the backlash that'll inevitably come. I am not going to talk to Mark anymore. And I might let him know beforehand. Yes, let's worry about his feelings. Some people would resort to violence. I don't condone that, but Jesus. I hope his jellyfish spine hardens at some point to at least use harsh language towards an obvious backstabber. Mark needs to be dropped. Mark is a snake and Oop is another person who is too nice. Advice on how to navigate this. After even Lily wants him gone? Child. Yeah, Mark. Ya good? Listen. I just don't trust you anymore and you know why. Don't try and spin this. As I have several people corroborating the story of how sneaky you've been. Don't get in touch. Quote. AAAAND block. Hi you, Direct Caterpillar 77. The Oop commented recently that he's blocked Mark's number and is not in touch with him. Maybe something to add? In reply to someone saying don't prove Mark right. This helped a lot in solidifying my decision. I realized right after posting this and talking with Lily that I don't need someone like him in my life right now. Hopefully he gets the help he needs and thank you for the words. Quote. And in reply to someone asking aren't you worried Lily will think you're a chump? Paraphrasing here. Oop says. I did. Blocked his number and haven't talked to him since. Haven't felt better. Afterwards, I started realizing a pattern in our interactions that stretched back way before I met Lily. Luckily she thinks even more highly of me after all of this. And I'm genuinely so happy to have someone who values my empathy. But she is beyond proud of me for refusing to take flack from him. Quote. This sounds like average teen high school drama. I can't believe none of these people is late 20s. And Oop for sure is people pleaser. Oh, bye Mark. Got to say, I agree with Mark here. Oop is too nice for his own good. Especially about Mark. Maybe I'm confused. But I don't understand everyone's reactions here. He's stated that he's ending the friendship. But Mark has made himself part of Oop and Lily's friend group. He's potentially been spreading false narratives that Oop needs to figure out how to combat. Sure, he cuts off any contact with Mark. So then what happens when he goes to hang out with Lily and her friends and Mark shows up? How about if he tries to explain to some of the mutual friends what happened but they believe Mark over him? Unlikely emo. But it's def something I'd be worried about if I was Oop. What happens when one of Mark's lies? Potentially a new one. Potentially one Mark's already told. Causes Oop harm? That's the navigating and rough road I interpreted him to be talking about. It would be one thing if Mark only was friends with Oop and Lily. But now there's a whole group of people involved and that's much more complicated. Admittedly, I think that if Oop just talks to the friend group, a bunch of them were already feeling uncomfortable about Mark and they probably would drop him. But that's a lot easier to see when you're not in the middle of the situation yourself. Oop needs to cut ties with this person for good. I understand it might be difficult to push someone away that you trusted so long, but the friend isn't an honest person and staying with him will do more damage than good. I mean, I hate to say it, but Mark wasn't wrong, was he? 'Cause how had Oop not immediately dropped Mark? Never mind staying around to argue about whether he correct several lies Mark had told about him melting face. People pleasing is definitely in operation here. Time for Oop to drop Mark loudly and quickly.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.